spend 90% of our time indoors. Do you know how many years we spend in our homes? So the average age of a lifespan in Ireland is 82 years. We spend 90% of our time indoors. That's 74 years indoors, of which 2/3 of that time is spent in a residential setting. That's 49 years in our homes or in somebody else's home, and 24 years in our bedrooms. So what's interesting about this is that spending half our lives in our homes, this is probably the environment that will have most impact on our health and well-being, yet it's the most underrated and under-researched design environment. So we have to rely on research on commercial or hospitality or care interiors and apply it when designing homes. So I'm going to focus on residential design today, and Lisa's going to talk about commercial and care, I think, isn't it? So, right. Okay, so biophilic design. What is it? It is an evidence-based approach that fuses design with natural elements in order to create interiors that impact positively on our health and well-being. It is not new. It's been around for donkeys. It's written about in the Bible. The book of Leviticus actually talks about how to avoid leprosy by designing homes in such a way. The Egyptians and the Romans actually recognized the value of natural sunlight and clean water, and they actually brought plants into their homes. The Knights of Malta designed their beds in their hospitals with a view of greenery. And who else did stuff? Oh, Florence Nightingale. She very famously said, don't build good hospitals, build good homes. And she identified that there were 5 really important things we should incorporate into home design: fresh air, sunlight, drainage, cleanliness, and I'm sure there's a 5th, but it's gone out of my head right now. Anyway, I'll come back to that. So, biophilic design, right. Okay, so Terrapin Bright Green developed this sort of framework for how we can incorporate biophilic design principles into any project. It was the 14 patterns of biophilic design, which is now 15, because they added number 15 in the last year. And basically, what you're trying to do is you're trying to incorporate as many of these patterns as possible into an interior, but in a natural way. Like, it's not good enough to throw a few potted plants in a corner and call it biophilic design. We need to look at engaging all of the senses, and that's how biophilic design works. I mean, some of the strongest physiological responses we have are to non-rhythmic stimuli, which is pattern number 1, 2, 3. So like a breeze that's unexpected or a sound that's unexpected, we respond really, really strongly to that, because that's what we experience in nature. It's unexpected, it's not routine, it's not rigorous. So the patterns come in 3 categories. So the first category is nature in the space, and this is really about, bringing nature indoors, bringing all the senses that we would engage if we were in the outdoors, using natural materials or bringing in water, bringing in plants. As I said, using breeze, airflow, scents, sounds, and so on. Natural analogues are literally about copying the patterns and forms and scales of what we might see in nature. But we don't need to do this literally. We want to kind of have our own interpretations. So if you think of Art Nouveau, if you think of Victor Horta's hotels and the metros in Paris, I mean, that was pure biomorphic design. It's real biophilic. Or Gaudi in Barcelona, Casa Mila, the balconies. I mean, this is what I mean. It's been around for a long time. It's just what's happening today is that we have so much research behind it, and it's accessible to everyone, that it's become a much more, I suppose, recognized way or approach of design. And then the third category is nature of the space. And this is about designing our spaces kind of in the way that we would get around spaces outdoors. It helps wayfinding. There's the Savannah principle, which is this idea that we are more comfortable when we have a view over a distance. And ideally, when you're incorporating this into a design, if you can have a view that's over 30 meters is optimum. Over 6 meters is fine. If you can't create a view in an interior, you might use artwork, but give distance is the idea. It also prospect is another one of these, refuge is another one of these patterns, which again is part of the Savannah sort of principle, that we're more comfortable like in a cave or, in a place where our back is protected and we can kind of see what's going on around. We feel safe.